Welcome to the Full Circle Show. The Full Circle Show is the artist podcast. Every week, we bring on artists who share their journeys within their creative field in hopes to inspire, inform, and entertain you, the listener. Hope you enjoyed this episode. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Full Circle Show. This is going to be a different episode because this is the first solo episode. In order for us to hit our goal of 100 episodes, I want to implement these along with the interviews so we can hit that mark within the year and make sure that we stick to that, because I really am sticking with that. The law of 100, I got that from Noah Kagan. Shout out Noah Kagan. His YouTube channel is crazy, and I definitely recommend you go check it out. But yeah, this is the first episode. My name is Ulysses. If this is your first time tuning in, I am the host of the Full Circle Show. If I'm not working on the show, I am doing video production, and that's usually where my time is spent. That's how I choose to spend my time on this and video production. So today we're going to be talking about the first main point or main takeaway of Austin Kleon's book, Show Your Work. Let me see if I can get it. Show Your Work. I would love to do all 10 of these. There's 10 of them. So if you fuck with these episodes, let me know and I'll cover all 9. These solo episodes aren't solely going to be over, books, but I think this book is really vital if you're an artist, if you're a videographer, photographer, painter, et cetera, musician, especially with the age of social media and making content and sharing your work and putting stuff out there, right? Show Your Work, 10 ways to share your creativity and get discovered, by Austin Kleon. This episode is going to be tackling the first one. You don't have to be a genius. So a bunch of these quotes are going to be quotes that I bracketed around in the book and that stood out to me. So I'll be reading the quote and then kind of give my thoughts over it. I am not a genius, so these are just kind of my viewpoints. Some of these things I'm still working on implementing, and some of them have helped me. So this is why I wanted to share. So the first quote is, being a valuable part of a genius is not necessarily about how smart or talented you are, but about what you have to contribute. The ideas you share, the quality of connections you make, and the conversations you start. The crazy part of starting this podcast, although it is super new and nothing crazy yet, is that people are very interesting and they're different. We get to meet new people all the time and chop it up with them. So far as of now, they've mostly been involved in the photo and video space, but I just finished interviewing Christopher Kenji, who is a musician who does pop rock, and that was the very first musician on the show. So not just like connecting with them, but sharing ideas with them and getting their viewpoint on different things that they tackle and different things that they face and different things that they're working on, and experiences and people that they've gotten to make throughout their time doing their thing. It's all super inspiring, and just hearing where they came from to like where they're at or things that they've experienced is nuts. And I can definitely relate to some of those things. We do the things that, well, at least I do, like you just start off doing it because you like to do it. I started taking photos because I like to take photos. I met a lot of people. Same thing with the video. You make a video, you get better at it, and better at it. There's new things that you want to implement. There's just a lot to learn and a lot to do, and that brings you in contact with a bunch of dope people. I think relationships are, at least for me, one of the main things that have kept me doing what I'm doing, that the relationships that I've been able to build and create and just kind of form with different people in the space or in the industry, I think that's super dope. And, speaking with a bunch of people in the industry and doing their own thing, that's definitely been one of the things that's helped them grow and motivate them to keep going. But the second quote is, amateurs have little to lose. Amateurs are willing to try anything and share the results. They take chances, experiment, and follow their whims. I've had this hesitance of putting out content because I've always felt like everything I was going to share needed to be on point and that it needed to be factual, right? And I needed to know what the fuck I was talking about, which, I don't claim I do. It's always a learning process, and we always get feedback. Constructive feedback, I think, is great, and compare our notes, quote unquote, with other people and kind of figure out what works for us. So, and that's what I think social media, you can use for and sharing your work and getting feedback. You can get in contact with others doing the same thing as you, or those people who have successfully done what you're trying to do, or the challenges that you're trying to overcome, or the things that you're trying to figure out. And I've been there. When I shifted my viewpoint to that, it made it so much easier and took the pressure off needing to be factual in everything that I shared or the notes that I've shared, right? So that was the main thing. And that's exactly why I'm doing this. That's exactly why I put out the podcast. I think it wasn't so much of a challenge then, because as I read in a different book, when you start something, it's super exciting and you just do it. Or at least that's how it was in my case with the podcast. But, nowadays, same thing with video production. Marketing is a huge thing, and content marketing and just kind of putting valuable stuff out there. That's the main thing. But, like I said, being factual has been a main thing of why the hesitance was there to put stuff out. So, that's just kind of my thought process on that. Next quote is, if you want people to know about what you do, you have to share. So when you open up the book, the very first quote, it says, for artists, the great problem to solve is how to get oneself noticed. And I was talking with a good friend of mine, Drosky, a couple of days ago, and on the phone, actually. It was on a completely different topic, but one of the main things that he said and that stood out to me was that he mentioned, as a creator, he's always sharing what he's up to. He's always talking about what he's doing, the things that he's done, and kind of sharing that with the people that he conversates with. And sharing the results and documenting the process, I think, is very important. Something that I'm shifting towards with what I'm doing now for the show and outside the show, and really building a story. Same thing, I was talking with Christopher Kenji, and it's the long game. It's the long-term game, and really building a story and sharing and getting people to come on board. And it's a journey, so I think sharing your story and documenting the process, the failures and the highs, everything is a great way to really get people to resonate with what you're doing or what you're trying to do. And you don't have to be a genius. Share what you do, what you're working on. Obviously, some things you can't, right? But the process and anything that's involved within that, deliver your content in the best way that it can deliver value to the listener. I break value into 2 to 3 different things, entertainment, informational, or inspirational, right? And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the main things that I've gone. I've read the book, I've read the main takeaway, and I connected it with the experiences that I've had and compared it and kind of took what I can and applied it how it was relevant in my situation. But yeah, this was the first solo episode. I don't want to make them all around a book every time, but I definitely would like to share the other 9 topics and make those into an episode. So again, if you fuck with these, just let me know and I would be more than happy to make some more. But yeah, that's that. Thanks for tuning in. First solo episode 19 of the Full Circle Show. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.